Thanks. And yes, I am with a couple of special guests here with us this afternoon on KCCK. Blake Shaw, his familiar face and voice around the old radio station, is the director of the Kirkwood Jazz Ensemble this year. Getting to the end of that. But always glad to have you in studio, Blake.
Absolutely, me too.
And our special guest with the Kirkwood Jazz Ensemble for the concerts this weekend is pianist and composer and coach Rachel Eckroth. Rachel, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
Great to be here.
We'll want to talk about kind of what you have planned for the concert, which is Saturday, involving both the Kirkwood Jazz students and also the CR Jazz Big Band, our community big band. But since you're here at college, Rachel, let's start at the beginning. You're going to be interacting with young musicians and students, and tell me a little bit about how you got your start.
Okay, well, let's see. How did I get my start? I started as a child playing piano. My parents were musicians. My dad mostly, and was a band director for a short period of time when I was young. So band was always kind of like, in my vision or in my future, or whatever. And I guess, fast forward to high school, that's when I got interested in playing jazz by being in the jazz band at my high school. And I went to a couple camps and got kind of hooked on improvisation ideas and things like that. And eventually went to college. I started at University of Arizona, where I decided to become a composer. So that's kind of where my big band writing began. And then I quickly transferred to UNLV in Las Vegas. Did work there, did school there, and then eventually ended in New Jersey at Rutgers University. So,
and that was probably your entree into the New York scene then.
It was. I moved there, and then a couple years into it, I went to school, being a New Jersey resident because I moved to Jersey City and not really New York until later. But
well, you've really become a fixture on the New York scene, also as a touring musician, not only your own stuff, but you've had the chance to work with some pretty exciting musicians in their band, St. Vincent, Rufus Wainwright, among others. You've been on the Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live. Those are
all the shows.
Yeah, all the shows. That's always whether you're leading the band or not. That's just got to be a kick to do that kind of thing.
It's a fun experience. It's kind of one of those things where you go inside a little box, basically, like this studio, you do your thing, and it's very it's weird because everybody's watching you, but nobody's there. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like you perform for nobody, but thousands of people will see it.
Yeah.
So it's very strange.
And always way smaller in person than what you imagine when
totally.
you watch it on TV.
Yeah.
Those are tiny rooms.
For the most part, yeah.
So you compose for big band. Most of your releases that as I was reviewing those are small group stuff though. So have you done a lot of recording with big band too, or is that just charts that you write and throw out there?
Correct. I have not made a record or anything like that. Possibly in the future, but that's a huge undertaking.
Big bands are a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, that's just out of love, I think, when you do something like that. But yeah, mostly has been small groups or my singer-songwriter kind of thing that I do. And then so I've got maybe 6 or 7 of my own releases. And then I play with other people and record on records and all that kind of thing.
Well, and we've been talking mainly about piano, but of course you also you're also a singer and and songwriter as you just said. How do you know when you're writing a song? How do you know? Okay, this one's going to be an instrumental, just going to be a jazz jam song. Oh wait, nope. This one's going to need words, and here are the words.
Yeah, usually I sit down and have a purpose behind my writing. So if I'm in the mood, I'm like, okay, now it's time to be a songwriter again. Then I'll do that. And the same with instrumental music. However, there was one song I wrote in the last year or so that can be both. And I think I'll record that on a record coming up soon. But I wrote words to it, but it also sounds really good just as an instrumental. So, I feel like in music, a lot of times you can go back and forth like that. I don't think, I think anything can have words to it if you if you want it to. But
Your latest project is called Humanoid. Tell me a little bit about that.
Humanoid was specifically a live recording project that we did at a club called Sam First in Los Angeles. And it was, the owner and the guy who runs the club, Dave Robert, he just asked me to put something together and be part of their record label that they were forming. And so I got my friend Billy Mueller on bass, Tina Raymond on drums, Andrew Renfro on guitar, and me, and we did 2 nights there. And it was kind of a mixture of songs from some of my older albums and then covers, and a few of these Duke Ellington tunes from Money Jungle, which was a project I was touring with just a little bit.
And not to get too far off into the technical weeds, but the hallmark of this studio or the environment where you were recording club or whatever it was an analog, direct to Pro Tools, direct to a high quality vinyl. So it sounded like there was some interesting tech, obviously not associated with your playing, but to get the album released, the tech process was interesting.
Yeah. They have it set up so that they can record every single show and also live stream it. And I'm not totally sure about what they're doing there, to be honest, but it sounds great. And,
Analog recording to Pro Tools sounds cool to me.
Yeah, it sounds great. And they put it on 180 gram vinyl, which is like good quality. So good project.
Yeah. Who knew that was going to be the biggest thing in recording?
Yeah.
So Blake, you've had a chance to live with Rachel's charts for a little bit for the concert coming up. So tell me a little bit about receiving those and working through them with the ensembles.
I was so excited to receive this music. Both bands are, we were just talking about how they're challenging them in good ways. The student band, I have a mixture of people that have been playing jazz for since high school and some beginners. And your charts were like really easy to flex a little bit. I can have some people over here doing the harder stuff, but then there's some less challenging things that were more accessible to everybody. So I really like everybody has kind of like their own time to shine, whether it's through the written parts or through improvisation. So that's been really fun, and I've been really living with these charts, so I could probably direct it from memory, I think, but I won't.
Great, because I can't.
Rachel, when you're working with students or with a new group like our CR Jazz, which are not primarily students, what are but especially with students, what are kind of those mileposts that that you always kind of go with in terms of what you're trying to get across to them? Because it's not always just about playing the charts. What are you thinking about as a from a teaching perspective?
Wow, it always depends on the group, on the level. But I generally want to make it feel fun and good. So that's so generic, but of course I want them to have a good time, and I want them to understand why the music is what it is. So that maybe the concepts behind the chart, and a lot of times, students might not understand what the groove means or what the reference is to, in terms of like the history of music. Where does this piece fit in that, and I try to make them understand, and just getting a good balance among the band, and I don't know, it's
It's different. It's different for every group, of course. I know that I've talked to a couple members of CR Jazz, and they have said these charts are fun, but they are tough, and you are working them pretty hard.
Good.
There's been a few rehearsals where I'm sweating, just sitting there,
Blake, this will be your final concert as the director of the Kirkwood Jazz Bands. It's just been so awesome having you on our campus as a full-time faculty member this year. So as you kind of end that tenure, just reflect a little bit on what it's like to come back to Kirkwood as a professor when this is the place where you began largely your musical career.
It's been really special, especially since there's a few people here who I knew from my time back when I was in school, but even though I graduated from Kirkwood in 2010. I've been back, with the camps and through KCCK and a few other things. So this, whether I'm here or not, it really feels like a home. So that has been really special, and I've learned so much. I mean, every place that I go, I learn so much. But the caliber of the bands here, the dedicated students, just like so many wonderful people. Dedicated students and wonderful people. That's hard to get sometimes. So they've treated me really well, and I just couldn't be more thankful for everyone.
Well, and as you said, even though you won't be here full time, you'll still be around. You'll still be teaching at our jazz band camp for middle schoolers. You're still with Schoolhouse Jazz, and we drag you into projects at KCCK on a fairly regular basis. That's right. Like I always say, it's easy to get involved in here. Here, it's impossible to ever quit. Well, Rachel, it has just been such a delight having you in studio. We've really been enjoying your music over the last few weeks, and looking forward to hearing it live. So we're gonna head out with one of your tunes. So what should we play?
Yeah, okay. So I did an arrangement of a song called Go. And here's the small group version. It's by Celine Bonacina. It's with a bassist from France, and then my friend John Hadfield, who plays drums. We just started a duo project, so there's that. But he's also in this group. So this is the song called Go.
Okay. All right. The concert is Saturday at 7:30. But if people want to meet Rachel and hear her talk a little bit about music and things like that, we always do a master class the afternoon of the concert. That'll be 2:00. And I hate the word master class because it's always like, well, I can't go. I'm not a master. I can't go to that class. But
open to everybody.
But my experience is even if you're not a player, just getting to watch you work one-on-one with people who come and just hear you talk a little bit about your music and your career, it's always a fun time. So that'll be in Band Room, right?
Yes, sir.
In Band Room, Cedar Hall, in the Kirkwood campus. And 7:30 is downbeat for the concert with Kirkwood Jazz Ensemble, CR Jazz, and Rachel Eckroth.
Awesome.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.